this is what happens. I know y'all think that this is a game, but this is really how we do when we get together.
Literally, though.
I'm so thrilled. Ooh. Hold my hand. Okay, thanks. Hi, guys. This is
Right.
another episode.
To confuse the folks more.
All right. Put in the clip of Mal asking if we go together right here.
Real bad.
Real bad. Mm-hmm.
I
tried to.
I can't.
I just scissored her whole hand.
Oh.
I just scissored her whole
That's
fist.
it.
Like, that sounds like
That's
a thing.
it.
You didn't have to punch it like that either.
Your mic comes right. The little one, this one.
Yeah.
The little
Sean Blue.
It is?
Mm-hmm. Is yours? Is it?
It's on out.
That's okay.
It's cool.
We so loud and crazy. I know that it's getting all the things.
Listen, and y'all know it wouldn't be us if we didn't have no technical difficulties, okay?
One day at a time, y'all. One day at a time. We're learning how to fly.
Literally.
Okay? Can't just jump. I mean, you can.
But we do. We say we often do, though. What thing
Very
we don't do?
often, we just shove each other off the edge and figure it out. And I ain't gonna lie. Lately, a nigga been floating at least. You know, like
floating.
Did you ever play Yoshi's Island?
Yoshi's Island.
No.
I feel like
Played on Super Mario. Did you play Super Mario?
I played Super Mario,
okay.
but like Super Mario Brothers, like
Yeah, and then people typically will jump over to the cube, and then they were like,
I never did the cube.
Me either. So I did so I know people like love the Donkey Kong transition. I missed that.
Me too.
And I really.
I was like,
but I loved Yoshi. I was big on Super Mario, and Yoshi in Yoshi's Island when he jumped, if you held onto the beat, he could just like boop, 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 boop,
flutter,
boop, 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 and he used to get a little hot.
Easy.
That's what I'm on right now.
Okay.
That's what I'm on right now. But I'm here to tell you, once we're in Super Mario, I just gotta eat the right egg, and I'm gonna be flying.
Get the star. Now,
at that point,
you hieroglyphic, right?
Now I'm in here. I'm knocking everyone down too.
Like
every little thing. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Because it's on the whole family.
That's what we on.
That's what we on. If y'all could keep. This is Hella Good, the podcast. I am SK.
And I'm Soy.
And we're hella happy
to
be back.
And excited.
This is so far it's been a great season. I hope you guys have been enjoying the show, the interviews, our conversations. Yes. We've been enjoying having them. It's just been a whole whirlwind. I mean, I think things are changing right before our eyes all the time.
All the time. And I can't help but think, like, we are just the most audacious people.
Let me tell you.
Because if y'all been rocking with us, we really started wherever we could. Truth be told, we started in a park. Outside.
Let me be very truthful. Niggas was meeting up at 6 in the morning.
Okay.
6 a.m.
Finding a middle ground
in between to meet at a park that was quiet enough for us to run a podcast episode.
Okay.
The trauma we
got chased by geese. You know SK don't do them feathered things.
I don't play with birds like that, and they were tall as me.
And dude, you know how they get when they get all
they do.
in their territory.
It was intense. We did a lot. We've seen lots of things happening.
Too much. Birthday parties over
all kinds of shit.
So much stuff.
And we just are sitting up talking about getting and giving head or whatever. Literally. And I'm like, this looks like a Dora the Explorer birthday party.
Right. We gonna pack it up. We gonna actually bring your cooler over here.
No, you're fine. You're fine. We're wrapping up, ma'am. No. It looks like you reserved this space. You reserved it.
We just here.
We'll get out of here. We'll get out of your way. So we definitely have been through a few things.
Yeah.
And now we're here, and like every time we sit down together in this studio, every time we get together,
it's
see my cutie booty little face.
It's magic every time, y'all. Okay, should we talk about? And this might be too recent.
No,
cut this out
because it's fine.
Transition? Do we talk about?
Because I need to tell you about that bitch and how she stressing me out. But it's cool. But
I wanted to really uppercut her on the face.
But let's actually get into it. Okay. Because I think that talks about a lot of the things. It's a year transitioning. We talked about it in the Mal episode when maybe you're making our way back.
Right.
Go for it. How you bringing it in? Let's see. All right. What transitions do you want to talk about for yourself?
Transitioning out of corporate into more creative.
I was going to say.
Bitch, you
know. Launching for.
Okay.
Being creative, making this fucking merch.
Bitch.
You better get phone
flying,
bitch.
Yeah.
Bitch. Ready, bitch. Okay.
I'm gonna let you put that shit down. actually burn your leg. Like,
Okay.
time with that ramen in that car.
You have an outrageous memory.
It is.
That's pretty amazing. I bet people struggle to like.
Yeah.
Maintain. When people have a really good memory like that, ooh, Jesus, it can be scary.
Because I was saying it just like that didn't happen. I'm like, oh, it did.
No, I'm gonna tell you how it happened. I'm gonna tell you
November
what was
15th,
wearing.
Yeah, 2010. What's going on?
God damn.
But yeah, no.
We're gonna talk about memories one day.
Okay.
Because I smokes the weed.
You do. But it's okay because Aiden don't smoke the weed and her memory is
it's still bad, but she had a baby.
She had two, so it's like, yeah.
But babies will do it to you.
Because I feel like maybe that took a couple cells out.
It'll take
of the memory
it
cells.
It'll change your whole makeup. So I ain't even gonna hold it.
It's true. She was allergic to gluten before she had Arlo, and then he cured that whole gluten thing
Hello?
up. He said, "Here, let me rearrange some organs."
I've seen people change shoe size. I've seen people fucking lose an allergy. Like you will go. Your body is not yours no more. That baby said he wanted gluten, and you go shut the fuck up.
Right. Eat this
I
muffin,
actually
bitch.
need bread.
Eat this muffin, bitch.
Now.
Okay? Immediately.
Yeah. No shock. Look at you go. She eating like, wait.
Okay.
That's not supposed to happen here.
Right. She's like, I don't feel anything.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Exactly.
Maybe I carried you.
I took it down.
You're welcome. But yeah, today's episode we're going to be talking all about transitions in all different shapes and sizes, right? Because it's funny enough that I think people a certain population has coined the term transition. So therefore it's now being used mainly by a specific population. But transitions happen all the time to everyone.
Everyone, all the time,
all
everywhere.
kinds of people. Yeah. So we're going to be focusing on transitions and kind of going a little more deeply into like our personal transitions.
Yeah.
And talking more about that.
Yeah. I mean, we could jump right in. It's not lost on me that the internet and like the people who perceive me are like confused or curious about what I'm going.
Yeah. I hope not confused because I feel like it's so painfully obvious that like you might have to go get your head checked if you're confused.
Yeah, but that,
definitely probably curious.
Yeah, let's say curious.
Yeah.
Let's say that people are very, very curious about what's going on. A lot of people ask me why I don't go by my birth name anymore. Someone recently in one of my question boxes was like,
really?
Well, yeah. I was like, oh, interesting. Yeah. Why I have a name change, why I feel more comfortable dressing this way. And almost like, is that it? Is that all? You know, it's like, where does it start? Where does it end? Right. What does it mean to you to feel more like yourself? And I feel like that can feel different for everybody. And I also feel like it changes all the time.
Yeah. And will change as you continue to age and grow and try new things and develop new things.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I just feel like for people who are wondering, I guess, like, if a transition is something that they want to kind of explore, I would love to know if, like, there's something holding you back from trying to, like, or what held you back, would you say? I would say.
Big things. And that's what I was going to say. I was going to say it's probably not going to be a difficult question for people to answer. Yeah. It's always going to be perception. Glaring perception, what people think of you. Like at the end of the day, a lot of people want to operate in a space where they don't. We know that you've lived there forever.
Listen, sorry.
Not all of us were able to live that life.
That's okay.
Who gives a fuck? But for those of us who live we definitely give a fuck. Yeah. Every day, you know? It's hard to move and shake in a way that it's even hard to know what you like. If you care that much about what other people think, a lot of times it's like
it helps like
what even
influence what you think.
It influences
so
everything. It influences. That's what I'm like. I'm way more comfortable dressing like this. I'm way more comfortable the way that I present in the world.
Right.
Was I uncomfortable before? I don't know. I think I had gotten
you were almost
familiar.
Like, I was gonna say this is all you knew.
That this is the way for me to be. This is the best way for me to present. This is the best way for me to show up. This is the best way that I'm received, even, or I assumed, because goddamn. Who'd have thought?
Right. But before we talked about this like very early on that like outwardly you're like, oh, like I have to like come out again to people because people would perceive you very feminine presenting and they would be like, oh, you what's your husband? And you'd be like, oh, my wife. And they'd be like, wait. Yeah. So how is it now? Because now when you, sorry honey, when you enter the room, I know you probably got to they them or
nobody's
something.
asking, yeah. There's no question. And so that's really interesting too. Yeah. It's really interesting that the way that I presented before, very specifically, if I'm being honest, attracted the people I did not want to fucking attract. Even a little bit. Dang. I think that my masculine energy did not make women approach me, and then I think that me looking feminine forced men who thought that they could handle whatever.
Who also might like a little masculine energy
who
themselves,
might, but maybe can't really say so. Right? Let's get into it.
Right?
Or, that's a whole. It really
different
is.
Strokes for different folks. That's all I gotta say.
It really is. I mean, a lot of women, a lot of Black women. Like we try to speak negatively about masculine energy, so much that they're like, but I'm soft. Like these Black women are so horny to be in this soft girl era. Like the two things can't exist at the same time. Literally. Like you can't have a little bit of both. And it's just so interesting to me because I think as long as cis Black women are like trying to force the idea of masculinity off of them, you know what I mean? It hurts you. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, like, every men and women share a little bit of both, and leaning into whatever is true for you would much, much, much more benefit you. Yeah. Of course, a conversation about why women feel like they need to tap into their masculine because they don't have, that's a whole nother conversation. And also, I don't have nothing to do with it.
I'm about to say, we're not in that space, honey. Sorry to tell you.
That's not for me.
Sorry to tell you.
We care, but not too much for me to.
Not to dedicate an episode to it, though. Sorry, y'all.
No.
I think there's other podcasts for that.
Plenty.
Literally.
So many about how women should be feminine. Yeah. Like there's a million episodes, a million men that should not have bought these podcast mics. Literally. That are saying what you should do and how you should do and the best ways for you to do it. And y'all really feed into that. So like I understand, but I think that now presenting like this, seeing such a significant, and not to say that like men are not looking. Yeah. Right. Like, so it's a very interesting, like they were definitely looking before. Right. Obviously they were attracted before. But now, it's not that they're not looking at me. It's just a very different energy. I think that I see people in a different way. People respond to me in a different way. They obviously know I'm fucking gay. Nobody is shocked. Yeah. Nobody is shocked that I'm gay.
They'd be like, wait, you have a husband? They'd be more shocked than that.
Right.
No, they're definitely like...
I think so.
Reading you. I see you. Yeah. That's cool.
So that's been helpful. I mean, it at least brings the right kind of people around me. Yeah. It also shows me like the type of people who are very naturally comfortable around queer folk, or around queer folk that don't present the way they're comfortable. Yeah. Like that's helpful. It's not something that I ever thought about. And then there's like, people who just learning curves, and like people who are perceiving me a certain way that I absolutely am fucking not. Right. And so that's also interesting. Is like, I was trying to give you a hug. And you're in doubt. Oh,
I'm still a hugger. Right. Listen.
Yeah. Like.
Listen,
whatever the fuck.
I feel like that breaks down through, for me, people's upbringings and then like age gaps. Usually it's the older masculine folks who are like, oh no, we don't get hugs. Like my name Pito. Like Patricia. Like we don't.
Right, they go off anyway to like for sure. I mean, and that was what was comfortable for them. They're the ones definitely like no stood on stuff. Right.
Whatever works.
Whatever.
For you.
Yeah. That whatever your thing is.
Whatever works for you.
I'm not here to speak on that. I'm just saying like I know that they have those boundaries or those constructs that boxes. Those little bitty living spaces.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's how they go.
So that's interesting. Yeah. But it's still a transition.
Yeah. And circling back, true to the word, transition is just something that people go through all the time. And it has nothing to do. Yeah. It's just really going from being one way and then being like, maybe I can explore something else. Yeah. And it's that simple. For me, I feel like my biggest transition as of the past year is like trying to I'm trying to flex that listen. I'm very much a creative at my core. I've always been that way, but y'all know how it be when you get into like this pipeline of what you're supposed to do, right? We all been there. So like went to college, got my degree, did my big one, got my little cute little job, then kept growing in that whole corporate space. And I feel like I finally got to the point where I'm like, I look back and I'm like, it's so interesting because I have a bunch of creative friends who like, there was a point where like I was like fresh in my career and they were just like, oh, I'm like, they've always been creative. So it's like, they're like kind of, our lives were just living on two different paths. Like it was like, I was like, okay, this is very much like my linear, I know what I'm going to do in the next 5 years. Right. And they're like, I don't know how I'm making rent next month. A
proper creative life.
Literally.
Is like, at the end of the day, I don't know when I'm going to eat.
Listen, I'm Capricorn, okay? Stability to me is like so sexy. Like that is my like that's it. That's my I can't even lie. That's my thing. I'm like, listen, I find comfort in knowing that I can take care of myself. I can take care of my family for the next, I don't know, year, 2 years, whatever.
A lot of people want that though. Don't say they don't want it.
No, but here's my thing. Here's my caveat. You are gonna have to sell your soul to get it. No shade.
No.
I'm just gonna hold you. You don't get both, and that's the thing that I had to learn the hard way. Is that I was like, I can still do creative stuff on the side, and then became like, all right, 6 months no creative work, a year worth of no creative stuff.
It's just not set up for that. It's intentionally not set up for that. If you actually want to make it in fucking America, you have to put all of it into this. And like, it's cool. I know that there are so many people who left their corporate jobs and then did something. A lot of those people a lot of these influencers were not working 80-hour weeks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. They were jobs.
Now in a space in their corporate where they had a little bit of flexibility to be able to maintain both things. Yeah. Or the other thing that happens with a lot of our creative homies that we both realized, like, because we're kind of swapping, right? Is like we started families.
Yeah.
Niggas decided to, when we committed to the corporate linear path, it also meant get married and it meant have babies.
So
and
then do these
take
things.
care of them and continue to take care of them. And whereas our creative homies, my creative homies, I'm not going to speak for everybody.
Yeah.
They couldn't maintain relationships. They were kind of in and out of all of these spaces. They were more focused on the work, which is a beautiful.
Of course.
And let me never, ever push back because the progress that they've made on their creative journeys.
There you go.
Right? Is
worth
it.
Because now they're in a space where, of course, they're now very seasoned. They've been able to really grow and do a lot.
Friends who are awarded,
literally
friends with Emmys, like they go. We know that early work is what did that.
They put it
simultaneously. You were struggling,
literally,
which is LA, which is the proof in the or New York or wherever y'all at. That
any major metropolitan area, that's just how it goes.
Creative professional, that is how it goes. Unless you, for whatever reason, fell right into. I don't know.
Right, a big bag in some way.
Yeah, you woke up. You would have to have a silver spoon. Yeah. You know, Frank Ocean is an anomaly. He says so. He knows. Yeah. You were dropped. Trying to just these people were dropped in a very particular space, and then they were able to have the resources and the options to keep going without really having to struggle. But the rest of us motherfuckers got a story, okay?
Right.
The real one that literally is the struggle. The running around, the maybe a job here or maybe a job here or a gig here or a gig here. And that's even how I started. Yeah. When I first got to LA, I was doing set design for short films and YouTube bits and like, listen. And then I got a job. Yeah. And then it was like, can you come out and do this gig for us? I just worked 50 hours. Right. No, I can't. I got a woman who's been waiting to see me.
Right. She's I see my wife all week.
No, like I could not do both. Yeah.
Listen, no, it's definitely something that for me, I'm like trying to actively like take back my time almost. It's like, I'm just trying to make sure that the last, how many years has it been? Almost 10 years of me being in corporate. I just feel like I haven't had anything for myself. It's like you're putting all this work into like creating somebody else's vision, somebody else's dream, and you're buying into this shit, right? And it's like, but at the end of the day, you're a number at this place, and they are wildly successful because of you and the work that you're putting in. Yeah. And your name is just kind of like,
a name on the docket.
Right. It's you're not actually like getting any notoriety yourself or like growing or sharpening your own skill set. And it's like, I'm just really trying to take a step back and being like, nah, I got to really carve out my own time and like do my own stuff. So that's really how the birth of this podcast was happening too, because I feel like
on both sides.
Yeah, we were just like sides. At a freaking crazy intersection where we were like,
we can't do this no more. And
I think we texted back and forth for like 3 days straight. Yeah, talking about all the different things.
What are we gonna do to get out of this? Yeah, and it's funny. I started this conversation talking more about my aesthetic transition or like how I've kind of come out of tight jeans or the fuck, but it's a fucking out of heels, out of my nails. Oh my god, I was watching one of our episodes. I know. But first off, can we just? I don't need the clips to roll. They was fine. They was fine.
They were. Okay, they did their big one.
Baby used to be like, if I gotta wear them, at least they gonna get down. Yeah,
proper, baby. You don't need
those no more. Don't need those no more.
That's so funny. I can't. Don't need those no more.
That's so funny.
No man. I live in the back like, no ma'am.
No ma'am. But same. When we met, it was very much about the lives we were living at the time. I was in a super sad space with the company that I felt like I had built from. I feel like I know. It's still, it's 2024.
Okay.
It's big as
Indeed.
Not the little.
Okay.
Definitely built a design firm from the ground up over the last 6 years that I recently sold. And it could have gutted me, I think. And I think in the moment it felt guttural.
I remember that call. Yeah, no, that's real.
That's how you know.
That's real.
Kiss your booby.
That's real.
No, that shit really gutted me. I think that you have a set ideal for your life, especially when you start to feel like you're succeeding and then that falls off. That's what is so hard to separate from. And I've told a million times, like, it's going to be hard to leave corp. It is hard to leave the grip when you are in this space where you're like, okay, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Especially as like immigrant children. I'm already getting a degree in design. My mom, going to school for anything like that. My mom's like, that's not real. You know, like to them, a nurse, a doctor, an engineer, and a lawyer are the only real occupations in America. So now you decide to be creative. Bitch.
Right.
So the first years, my parents are already not even that supportive. They're like, okay, hurry and fail so we can get into a job. You know what I mean?
Like, why do they like that? What is why?
It's like they're like, you're not listening, so we just gonna leave you be.
Right.
Let you get back. No, I didn't. I did okay, and I was able to ride that wave literally for the cost of your soul. Like, literally.
I hate it.
And it sucks, especially because if you're going to be an entrepreneur, like, why would you ever? You know, so much of the reason that Black people want to work for themselves is to be themselves. And instead, I really was, like, committed to success in whatever way it looked most like success. And a lot of times, that looks white. It looks like Orange County. It looks like... It just doesn't look anything like me. And I think that I really let a lot of time pass where I was in this space, allowing my emotional self to get beat up and pretending to be something just to be palatable for a check.
A demographic.
At the end of the day, for a specific demographic. And like, I really think that at the time, I thought I was so sad that it was breaking up. It felt like the right thing that we were splitting, but at the same time, it was like, damn, I put so much time. I was going in this direction, you know what I mean? And so for us to split up, I thought it was the worst thing. And instead, I think that like,
the universe just was like, finally. It was like, finally. Now that you've released
it was like,
bitch,
I couldn't give you those.
Right.
You were holding all this shit. Right. You couldn't have gotten it.
It's like, if I had given you this, you'd have wasted it because you wouldn't have had the time, the energy, the anything.
I think that we decided we were going to launch I think we launched Hella Good podcast, and I think like 3 weeks later, I was like, I'm leaving this company.
Yeah, that's literally how it happened.
That shit is wild. That's wild.
It is.
I was like, I'm the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I literally could not imagine still being there and splitting my time between the blackest, queerest, funnest, exhilarating, empowering spaces and the most diminishing shit in my life. Like, I don't think I could have been able to do them both. Especially having to choose one over the other and it ever being a hard decision. Like, I think at that point I was like, you know what, you're right. We should, this is it. This is where we call it. And like, that big transition really allowed me to see how much shit I was doing to sell my, to play the role.
Of course.
You never realize. I think I wore sweats for a week. And then I was like, I probably don't need to put those back on. That one shirt, I probably never really needed it. I don't think.
Yeah.
And I don't know why these pumps are here.
You're like, wait a second. Let me actually find what I like in this closet.
What a goddamn, and it wasn't much.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh.
Right. I was doing this as, this was a uniform. This was a dress.
It was
in disguise.
A mask, a literal mask for you to go into the workforce and be what that company, even if it's your own.
Right.
Even if it is your own, being what that company needs you to be to sell.
Yeah. No, that's facts.
And like, eventually it just was not worth it.
There's always going to come a point in time, and I see that to anyone who's kind of in that corporate grind right now. You're going to hit that point.
You'll hit that marker.
You don't have to be creative. You're just going to hit that point where you kind of look back and reflect, and you're like, wow, am I proud of the last 5 years? Am I proud of the last 3 years? Whatever.
And there will be people who say yes. And to be clear, there are some people made for this, and there's no shame.
If you're saying yes to that, kudos to you.
Yeah,
you are in beautiful life, on the right path. And I wish you nothing but a success.
I hope that 401k fat
baby. Okay.
I hope they match that.
I hope that bonus next year is looking real nice. I hope it's above the 3% mark. Okay, but at the end of the day, when you're looking back and you're not proud and you're not happy with where you currently are, then it's time to reflect. And it's really time to be like, okay, let's assess what's going on here and figure out a way to get past or figure out a way to pivot. Because at the end of the day, like, life is short. We say this.
We're always going to say this.
I'm going to come like, with the pilot.
All that's left, we could die today.
Tomorrow.
We could die.
Okay.
And the way America is acting out,
they'll go make sure it happen now.
Anything could happen. We're literally involving ourselves in all kinds of shit. Any of these countries could decide. You know, it's not really even about who's bad and who's good. Like, we're bad.
Right. We know that too. Okay.
That's what we do know.
Third world country with the Gucci belt. What they say, right?
Literally. The amount of homeless people I had to pass on Sunset Avenue to get to this spot in Hollywood is it's an insane way that we live.
Why are we not taking care of our people?
It's an insane way that we live in this country. So I know that any day, and like when I look at those people, I know that they didn't all expect to be there. You know what I'm saying? Anything any small thing can shift. Yeah. It's the reason we grip onto corporate. Right. It's the reason you don't want to leave the thing that is paying your bills, because like we know that those are the things that are going to make you at least feel sustained in life. Right. But do they make you feel good? Like, are you content?
Like, are you doing more than just surviving? Are you doing more than just being okay? And it's like sometimes you go to that point where you do need a little more. You're like, damn, I need an outlet. I need to do something else. I need to not feel tired at the end of every single week. And it's like, you got to take some time back.
People don't really take enough like inventory. Yeah. If you just like take a second and just weigh the pros and cons, like we're so committed and so like used to, I'm gonna get a job. They offered me a little bit more than I thought. And not even paying attention to what that all actually breaks down to.
It's like the job description is 3 pages long. Yeah. You know, like, actually, responsibilities, you're never going to leave here.
And, right. You're going to keep a cell phone on your hip even after the clock. Okay. You give so much. Yeah. And if you broke it all down, the time investment and the pay, you could probably sell some keychains on Etsy, bitch. You probably
sign it up. Get the Etsy shop going.
It's something else. I swear to God, it's a lot of people who have compared the numbers.
Selling stickers.
People have compared the numbers to like what panhandlers make to teachers in America. Dang. And I'm not saying go panhandle. I'm not saying go stand on the side of the road. But what I'm saying is that like if you just take inventory and think about what makes you happy and what you're putting out and what you're getting back, a lot of us would be like, is this what I want to do? And for some of us, it's going to be, I like the stability. Mm-hmm. I like that 9 to 5. I like that I clock out at 5. I like that I get home. Whatever your scenario is. And for somebody else, it's going to be like, no, absolutely fuck not. No, absolutely not. And how do I stop doing it?
Immediately. Actually.
But I hope those are the people listening to the podcast. Transitions happen for all of us. And I think that we're in a time where we got to lean into that shit. We do not have every single day. And people say life is long. It's not.
It's not. Didn't they lower the age life expectancy?
Literally, it was 87, now 74 or something like that. And you know, black women are less than that. Yeah, you know, no matter how good we look, we are dying. We look at the race.
Bet y'all didn't know it was gonna be this kind of podcast.
Yeah.
Check the stats. Tomorrow
we got diabetes, blood pressure and shit.
That's it. They cut off Big Mama's.
They cut it off. That's it. She had her hand in the fire and didn't. For a long time.
I was like,
I remember watching that and being like, why isn't she moving her arm?
I was like, somebody?
Does she have diabetes? Like her arm is just burnt. She cannot feel it?
At all. It's numb.
It must have been. I think somebody said getting butter.
Why? We're so unserious. Okay. But yeah, we are going to wrap this up. This has been a hell of a conversation.
Oh my God. We love y'all. We want everybody to live their best lives.
Yes, as always. Take everything we say with a grain of salt. Obviously. Don't go quit your job tomorrow if you don't have okay, because my best friend here, had a solid savings, solid 401k, and sold the company. Okay. So it's set up for success, okay?
Don't do it like me, but do what matters for you. Like, really take inventory, take a look, take a step back. And, like, I'm not telling everybody to leave their job.
Nah,
I think that these jobs,
fuck that job.
She gonna be telling y'all fucking kids too, and they can't eat. Don't listen.
You're right, because my kids eat.
Okay,
because I got that job. Anyway, but
every day we should constantly just be looking at ourselves, taking steps in the right direction. I want all of us to win. Black queer creatives, especially. Mm-hmm. I feel like we create art. I feel like we are art. I feel like everything around us, especially when we live in Hollywood and shit, it is nothing but Black queer women setting the tone for every fucking thing that we do.
Literally, we set the tempo.
And so I feel like we should be happy.
At the very least.
At the bare minimum, when you take from it, we should be pleased to experience it alongside you or on our own or without y'all. Shit, we should be able to experience these things in fullness, you know, not like sad and down and stressed and overworked and all of
underpaid
all the other things. 2024 is the year of transitions. Maybe that's what this episode's called. The gear
transitions. I love that. Because it's so true.
It really, really is. I hope that y'all continue to watch us transition.
Okay. As we keep growing, getting bigger spaces.
And this nigga get finer every day. Finer every day.
Stop. But listen, this was hella good.
It was hella good.